Hello everyone! This is Paukshte Fashion Workshop. I remind you that we post new videos every day. I know that you like it when I show you how to sew garments without the basic patterns. It's understandable. It's very convenient to work this way. I've already showed you how to make dresses, coats and jackets without patterns. I want you to understand that not all garments can be made without basic patterns. I use mine even for making simple t-shirts. I do understand that you like the videos about sewing garments without patterns. You can do it even when going on a vacation or to a country house, for example. I also do have some clothes made this way in my wardrobe. I've already showed you how to make the dressing gowns without the basic patterns. We've also showed you how to make dresses with dolman sleeves using this technique. I've even showed you how to make coats this way. The technique I'm going to show you today is a bit different from what I've showed you before.
Мы с вами проходили два раза. Один раз проходили халатик. Я одевала на себя такой синенький давно. Потом Наташа делали с цельнокроенным рукавом. Но хочу сказать, что сегодня мы немножко по-другому будем строить.
Have a look at the sketch. This is a simple top with the chest darts, the waist tucks, and the drop shoulders. After watching these videos, you'll be able to make such tops without problems. You can change the neckline however you want. Make a round or a square one instead of the V-neck. You can make a seam on the center front and make a button stand in it. You can attach a circle or a half-circle skirt here and make a dress instead. You can make a pleated or a flared dress. You can attach a collar or a flounce. You do not necessarily have to make the waist tucks. Make a shirt collar and a straight dress, and wear it with a belt as a regular shirt dress. This base allows you sewing a lot of different garments, just like the pattern for sewing dresses with dolman sleeves. This pattern is perfect for sewing different light clothes. Garments made on its bases are very convenient.
Пляж, дача и все такое прочее, как бы очень удобно иметь вот такого простого кроя вещи.
I rarely buy clothes in the mass market shops, even the most simple ones. I think that I'd better sew what I need myself. I know that we are able to do it. Let's talk about the needed measurements: the bust, the waist, the hips, the width of the back, the length of the back, and the bust height. The bust should be measured on the level of the most prominent parts. You already know how to measure the waist and the hips. The width of the back should be measured from one shoulder to the other. The technique is different from the one used for making basic patterns. The width of the back in my case is 41 cm. The bust height should be measured from the shoulder to the apex of the breast. 31 cm in my case. The techniques for taking the measurements in this case are very simple. They are different from the ones we use when making basic patterns on the basis of my 10 measurement cutting system. The course on the 10 measurement cutting system will be available very soon. We can start working now. I'll be working with this chart. I made it myself. I have the dot openings written here. It can be from 6 to 9 cm wide, depending on the size. It's also written here that the opening can be even bigger for the ladies with the big bust. Make a mock-up first, see if it fits you perfectly or not, and then decide if the opening should be made bigger. Do not forget about the extensions we need to add for the balance. It's also written in this chart, from 1.5 cm to 3 cm.
И для размера 54-58 3 сантиметра. Хочу сказать о балансе.
I want to talk to you about these measurements. People often ask me what the balance extension is. As I've already said, my course on the 10 measurement cutting system will be available very soon. In this course, I will explain what the balance is and where it comes from very thoroughly. In the course, I will also tell you a formula for measuring it. In this case, the extension for the balance isn't measured or calculated using a formula. When I was learning to sew, we used to use the chart I've just showed you. Sometimes people tell me that the extension for the balance is 10 centimeters wide or 8 centimeters wide. Guys, come on! How can the front be 10 centimeters longer than the back? Just try to imagine a dress in which the front is 8 centimeters longer than the back. Use the recommendations which I have in this chart. The extension for the balance is usually from 1.5 centimeters to 3 centimeters wide. Sometimes, in the very rare cases, you can find a garment in which the balance is 3.5 centimeters, but not more. In the left column you can find the sizes, in the middle the corresponding dot opening, and in the right one the balance. If you decide that you need to add some more for the balance, add 5 millimeters. I also want to talk to you about the width of the back and the front necklines. There is actually no universal technique for measuring them. I usually make them about 7 or 8 centimeters wide. The best thing to do is to make a mock-up first and decide if you want the neckline to be wider or tighter. There is no universal technique, so no one can tell you exactly what to do. It depends only on your own bodies and measurements. There is actually no other way to make a perfect pattern than to study your own bodies and measurements. Remember that practice makes perfect. You might think that I talk too much, but I just want you to be able to sew the high-quality garments for yourselves. Here's the chart with the measurements. As I've already said, in the left column you can find the sizes, in the middle the corresponding dart opening, and in the right one the balance. The right piece of the paper shows my measurements. We can start working now. I'm going to show you how to make a pattern for the garments with the dropped shoulders. The technique is very useful. You can sew a lot of different garments on its basis. I'm going to show you the most simple design. You can change it however you want. Add flounces, collars, make dresses instead of the blouses. I'll show you what to do. I've forgotten to tell you about one more measurement, the bust width. 9 centimeters for the small sizes, 10 centimeters for the medium sizes, and 11 centimeters for the big sizes. These are the recommended measurements. Choose the one which is better for you. My course on the 10 measurement cutting system will be available very soon. It will provide you with all the information you need to make a basic pattern. You can use some interesting details and ideas from these videos for making garments on the basis of the basic patterns. The technique I'm going to show you in these videos is perfect for sewing some simple light garments with the drop shoulders, tops, home clothing, and so on. I'll be making a mock-up, so I'm going to use a pencil or even a marker pen to draw right on the fabric. I'll be doing it for you to see everything clearly. This is modeling fabric anyway. You shouldn't do it. Have a look at the sketch once again. This is a top with the drop shoulders and the V-neck. You can make the neckline of any shape you want. Let's have a look at the measurements once again. 1/2 of the bust, 1/2 of the waist, 1/2 of the hips, 1/2 of the back width, the height of the bust, and the width of the bust. These are the only measurements we need. Let's have a look at the chart once again. The dot opening. 6 centimeters for the sizes 44-46, 7 centimeters for the size 48-50, 8 centimeters for the sizes 52-54, 9 centimeters for the sizes 54-58. As I've already said, those who have big bust can make the dot opening bigger as well. Let's have a look at the extensions for the balance next. I've written them with a red marker pen. 1.5 centimeters for the sizes 44-46, 2 centimeters for the sizes 48-50, 2.5 centimeters for the sizes 52-54, 3 centimeters for the sizes 54-58. In the very rare cases, the balance can be 3.5 centimeters, but not more. This rule is also true for making basic patterns on the basis of the 10 measurement cutting system.
Убираем наши все вот эти
I can move
рекомендации,
all the
список и
needed
начинаем
details aside.
строить. Я буду строить
I'm going to
карандашом,
draw a pattern with a
а
pencil
потом
first,
выкройку
and then
обведем
outline it
прямо
with a
на
marker
ткани.
pen.
Ничего страшного, ткань рабочая.
I
это
remind you
просто
that I'm going to
модель
make a
ткани.
mock-up with the
Или
modeling
центр
fabric.
спины.
I need to draw the center back first.
От начала
Next,
ткани
I'm
у
going
нас
to
вот
measure
начало
and mark
ткани.
4
От
centimeters
начала
down from
ткани
the edge of the
откладываем
fabric
4
on it.
сантиметра. Вот она, 4 сантиметра. Строим.
After that, I need to draw a horizontal line here.
Смотрите, я уже вам
As
сказала,
I've
я
already
беру
said,
8
the back
сантиметров.
neckline will be
8.
8
Вы сейчас на
centimeters
мне
wide.
увидите, что это такое. И от этой точки
Next, I
вверх
need to drop a
проводим
perpendicular up from this point.
Начало ткани у
Here
нас
is the edge. The back neckline will be 8 centimeters wide and 4 centimeters deep. If you don't like deep necklines, you can make the back neckline 3 centimeters deep. 4 centimeters is my maximum.
Для меня это и так уже как бы маловато, но я уж делаю вот так 4. От этой точки на самом
This
деле
point
это
marks
у
the
нас
7th neck bone and the
седьмой
center
шейный
back.
позвонок, точка. Основание шеи по центру спины.
Measure and mark the length of the back down from this point.
Длина спины
In my case, the
41
length of the
сантиметр.
back is 41 centimeter.
Мерка
I'll sign that this
DS.
is the length of the back.
Мерка DS, вот она, длина спины. Ну,
I'll
думаю,
make the
что
top
я
about
свой топ
17
буду
centimeters
делать от
longer.
линии талии сантиметров.
You can make it as long as you
17 пускай
want.
будет. А вы возьмете, сколько вам хочется длину изделия.
What do we
Смотрите,
have
что я
here?
имею.
The
Линию
bottom
низа,
line, the
линию
waistline,
талии. Точка
the
4
7th neck
седьмой
bone,
позвонок. Ширина
the back
выреза 4,
neckline, which is
глубина,
8 centimeters
ширина
wide
выреза
and 4 centimeters deep.
ростка 8, глубина 4.
8, 4, 41, 17.
17 я взяла.
I drew the last detail by
Вы
side.
возьмете
You
столько,
can make the
сколько
tops as
хочется
long
вам.
as you want.
Теперь мерку длины спины
Next, I need to divide the
делим
length of the
пополам.
back in
У
half.
нас 41,
The
получается
half of 41
20,5.
centimeter is 20.5 centimeters.
Вот это
These two
расстояние равно вот
distances are
этому
even.
расстоянию. Проводим горизонтальную
Next, I need to draw a horizontal line through the marked point.
Моя вот
In
эта
my case,
линия,
the bottom
линия,
line
которая
also
на
serves
17
as the hip
сантиметров
line.
от линии талии, она у меня служит линией бедра.
It's placed 17 centimeters down from the waist in my pattern. You can make the tops as long as you want. If you make them longer, you need to draw both the hip line and the bottom line. In my case, these two lines match. My hips are actually placed 11 centimeters down from the waist. Anyway, I never use this measurement in sewing. I usually draw them 17 centimeters down from the waist. Next, I need to measure and mark the width of the back, 21 centimeter.
Вертикальную линию.
I remind you that I measured it from the top of the shoulder to the top of the other shoulder.
Что мы имеем? Линию ширины спины.
Next, I need to draw a vertical line through the marked point.
Линия груди.
This line marks the width of the back. What do we have here? The width of the back line, the back neckline, the bust line, the waistline, and the hip line. Next, I need to mark the needed measurements on the bust line, the waistline, and the hip line. The bust measurement is 59 centimeters. 1/2 of the measurement is 29.5 centimeters.
29,5. Это моя грудь.
This is my exact measurement.
Но я
I don't
хочу,
want the
чтобы у
top
меня
to be
еще
too
была
tight,
свобода.
so I need to add some for
Это
the
уж
ease.
совсем я не буду дышать в такой мерке.
I'm
Поэтому
going
я
to add 2 centimeters for the ease, both to the front and the back details.
сантиметра на полочку и 2,
Always add the
соответственно,
same
получится
measurements to the
на спинку.
details.
Всегда берите равную величину,
This is
чтобы
very
они были
important.
одинаковые, боковой шов был посредине изделия. Значит, я беру
1/2 of the bust measurement is 29.5 centimeters, and I also need to add 2 centimeters for the ease. Before measuring the waist, I need to make the center back slightly round. I'll make it tighter for about 1 or 1.5 centimeters.
Не от этой точки будем сейчас откладывать, а вот от этой.
Draw the line the way I'm showing you. When the pattern is ready, I'll outline it with a marker pen. This is the point from which the waist measurement should be marked. This is why the center back should be made slightly round in advance. 1/2 of the waist measurement is 25 centimeters. And I also need to add 2 centimeters for the ease. That means that I need to measure and mark 27 centimeters. 1/2 of the hips measurement is 29 centimeters. I also need to add 2 centimeters for these, so the measurement is 31 centimeters. Let's have a look at what we got here. How can a side seam look this way? I need to make the waist at least 2 centimeters wider, and then draw a side seam through the new point. What do we need to do next? These 2 centimeters should be turned into a tuck. I'll make it about 12 centimeters away from the center back. Have a look here once again. I added 2 centimeters here in order to make the side seam more beautiful. These 2 centimeters should be turned into a tuck. The tuck should end about 3 centimeters up from the bottom and start about 5 centimeters down from the bust. As I've already said, this is the bust line. It has nothing to do with an actual bust top. We need this line just for the designing. Draw a horizontal line to the left from the top of the back neckline. Next, I need to measure and mark about 2.5 centimeters from the top on this line. This is the slope of the shoulder. After that, the marked point should be connected with the top of the back neckline. I'm going to make a shoulder dart here. Notice that the shoulder is not too biased. If you make the slope 2.5 centimeters wide, the shoulders will be more biased. In my case, the width of the slope is 2 centimeters. I want to make a shoulder dart here. To do that, I need to measure and mark 4 centimeters to the left from the top of the back neckline. I want the dart to be 9 centimeters long. I'll sign it. Next, I need to make this line 2.5 centimeters longer. I need to do it in order to draw a dart with an opening 2.5 centimeters. I'm making the dart in order to make the top to fit the shoulders perfectly. I can't make a dart without adding some for its opening. This is very important. When I draw the armhole, I'll show you what the dart was made for. I'll draw the armhole by side. I think that I'll make the slope 7 millimeters wider to the left from the dart. Notice that I made the slope of the shoulder 7 millimeters wider further from the dart. Next, I'm going to outline the details and tell you everything once again very thoroughly. Don't be lazy. It's very important to make the shoulder darts. They make the garments fit us better. The fitting ease is 4 centimeters both for the front and for the back. I added 2 centimeters to 1/2 of the back, so the total ease for the back will be 4 centimeters. I remind you that I also added 2 centimeters here. This is not the ease. I turned them into the tuck here.
Для того, чтобы тут забрать.
If you want to make a sleeveless garment, you can use these bays as a pattern. Next, I'm going to show you how to make a pattern for the garments with the drop shoulders. There are a lot of different ways for doing it, but I'm going to show you the one which I usually use. I wanted to understand that the garments made this way can't fit you as perfectly as the garments made on the basis of the basic patterns. The techniques for sewing without patterns are very useful, but they would never substitute sewing on the basis of the accurate patterns. The pattern for the back is pretty wide. I remind you that I added 2.5 centimeters here in order to make a shoulder dart. The width of the back was measured in advance. I showed you how to do it. These are 1/2 of the bust, the waist, and the hip measurements. I added 2 centimeters for the ease to each of them. I added 2 more centimeters here in order to turn them into a tuck. The bust line was drawn in order to draw the armhole accurately. First, I made the slope of the back shoulders 2 centimeters wide, and then I added 7 millimeters more. I hope that everything is clear so far. That's all for today. Next time, I'm going to show you how to make a pattern for the front, and how to turn these details into a pattern with the drop shoulders. The technique which I'm showing you now is very useful. Be different and beautiful. My name is Paukshte Irina. Subscribe to my channel, write comments, share videos, press the like and the bell buttons. I would really appreciate your support. Thank you. Goodbye.